What a surprise. No, seriously.
Yeah, you're often sick, by the way.
To be fair, I've had a bad year for it. I know that, but there are reasons behind that. What people don't know outside, but you lot know about this stress and anxiety of this year and things that have happened, and that sends your immune system into it kills the immune system.
Yeah, true.
So I'm hoping that next year that either one, I don't have the same level of stress and anxiety, and my immune system perks back up, because in the past I would gain like 1 or 2 colds a year, or 1 or 2 illnesses a year. This year I've had 1 or 2 a bloody week. They overlap. They're just following each other. I'm like that cartoon from Simpsons where Mr. Burns visits the doctor, and he's got every single virus known to man, some only known to women and some known to animals. And he gets like a door and just gets little toys, and he's like, so this is your body at the moment. The viruses, there's so many, they can't fit through the door. So I'm indestructible. No, a slight breeze could kill you. Indestructible. Only I don't feel indestructible.
Yeah.
Maybe the weather of good old Albion isn't too good for you as well.
I don't know. It has snowed, so it is white outside now.
We can still exchange. If you want some very, very, very hot place to live in, we could make an exchange.
It is a very balmy 1 degrees today.
Do you want to know how it is here today? It's like 16. It's 16.
That would probably work better for me while I've got the cold, though.
Well, I don't know, because it's very wet. It's raining all the time. There's a lot of wind, so I'm not sure it will be better.
Yeah, it was. And this morning when I got up and I just hot bath to try and just steam everything out of me, it was -3 degrees.
No.
So, yeah, nice and warm today.
Anyway, we haven't changed our topic to illnesses and the weather. Don't worry.
I've not been told that. I thought that's what the topic was. So anyway, the topics, 2 simple ones, TGA and Microsoft.
Yeah.
We'll start with Microsoft because it's the easy one to just talk about. So the Microsoft Activision Blizzard saga takes yet another turn. You'll be able to explain it in full detail, but the general gist of it from what I'm aware, now be aware that I've been, dead for the past few days and I've not really paid attention.
First of all, basically Microsoft came out and announced they had a deal with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty on the platform for 10 years.
I thought they had that with Sony.
No, they had offered Sony first.
Okay.
But Sony did not respond yet. But so basically, earlier this week, Microsoft announced this agreement with Nintendo, and also they said they basically offered Steam the same deal to keep Call of Duty on Steam. Call of Duty just returned on Steam after several years with Modern Warfare 2, and basically they sent Valve the same agreement that they would keep releasing Call of Duty on Steam for at least 10 years. And, interestingly, Gabe Newell, who is also known to be quite the character, even this time around, he kind of came up with an interesting answer, because he was like, Microsoft and Phil Spencer sent us a draft agreement, but basically he said he didn't sign it because he didn't feel it was necessary. He said basically Microsoft, at least under Phil Spencer, they've always followed through with everything they've said to us. And secondly, Microsoft already has all of the incentive to do what they said. So basically he said, I don't feel like I need to sign this, to even sign this. So that was the...
To be fair, Gabe has the advantage of having the a near monopoly on the PC market.
Yeah, that's true. But well, for several years it didn't get Call of Duty revenue as well, but now it is getting it again. But well, there's also the fact that famously, Gabe Newell was a former Microsoft employee. Of course, we're talking about over 20 years ago, but still. And Valve is, they're very close. They're both in Seattle, Redmond, and so they are known to be quite close, the companies and the executives. So there is that. But well, yeah, the big surprise was the Nintendo one, because Call of Duty hasn't released in a Nintendo platform basically for a decade.
That's why they've offered it to Nintendo. It's like, yeah, we'll release it on your platform, where no fucker buys it. We're such a generous company.
Yeah, the idea was clearly to single out Sony as the one who wasn't signing off on this deal. And maybe Microsoft did it as well because, well, a couple of days later, actually a few hours before of the TGA, well, the FTC came out and said they are actually suing to block the deal. So I guess Microsoft wanted to be a bit preemptive and, announced this deal with Nintendo. And so now, yes, the FTC is trying to block this deal. And well, the answer from Microsoft and Activision actually was quite aggressive. They said basically, well, we try to be diplomatic, we try to be reasonable, we try to make concessions, but basically they said, if they don't back down, we will fight this in court. So that's where we are now. That's so. Yeah, it will be interesting, and well, the thing is, if they go in court, I've been reading some of the lawyers who have been reporting on this deal. Basically, I mean, it's a known fact. Court trials can take years, so potentially this could delay the closure by a long time. Closure was expected by June next year, and now it's most certainly not happening.
So probably looking 2024, if at all.
Yeah, well, the general vibe around most of at least the lawyers that I've read is that if Microsoft really is willing to go through the expenses of a full trial and whatever, that they will probably likely win. But the one of the reasons the FTC made this move when they did is basically that as we see, I think we discussed earlier, Microsoft is also going to have to pay a certain amount, between 2 and 3 billion to Activision if the deal does not close. And basically, the difference between the 2 and 3 billion is, is in timing actually. So basically, if they dropped it now, it would be 2 billion. If they drop it later, like in next year, then it will become 3 billion. So this lawyer was postulating, well, the FTC maybe is trying to say to Microsoft in a kind of subtle way, well, drop it now and save 1 billion. Yeah. but it looks like Microsoft isn't probably going to do that. They want to go the full way in, and at that point, the FTC will have to make, their own evaluation as well, because they also have limited resources and how many cases they can follow, they can dedicate time to, and also they don't have the best track record. Actually, recently there have been a few cases where basically the court ruled against them, and so we'll have to see. It will be interesting, that's for sure.
There's not a great deal more to say on it. It's just one of those wait and see. We've all said so much about it already.
Yeah. I think it will be interesting, though. I mean, honestly, if I was the FTC, I'd probably the best thing they can do if it really goes to court is to get as much of a concession as possible from Microsoft. So maybe if they're not happy with 10 years, they can ask for 15. I don't know. that is certainly enough time for Sony, which is the main hostile party to this deal, to come up with an alternative to develop, their own shooter game, multiplayer shooter game. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh well, there we go. So, on other news, TGA, which for some reason, I know it's the Game Awards, but for some reason I just keep thinking a mixture of TGA and TGS. I want to call it the Tokyo Game Awards for some reason. My brain's not working. So anyway, TGA, the game advertisements.
That sounds more like the case. The game advertisement.
We know that's the real case.
Yeah.
Well, what's his face is constantly rimming Hideo Kojima. It's like, well, he is. What was it? I mean, Hideo Kojima posted a tweet before the awards, and then I can't even remember his name, Jeff Keighley, and then Jeff Keighley's responded to the tweet like, "Yes, those are the questions, Hideo. Please, Papa, tell me."
Oh. Well, to be honest, I would do the same.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would.
I mean, to be fair, at least they followed up with the actual announcement.
They did. Yeah. I think the problem is when I don't know. We can all be guilty of it, but I tend to find that Jeff Keighley's a little too over friendly with certain people he likes, and fair enough. If he likes them, that's fair enough. But when you're doing a professional thing, you shouldn't be that way. Hello again.
I mean,
to be honest, it was at least this year I didn't feel like this. What you said too much. Well, he's still a little bit,
I mean, he's basically in love with Kojima and with Joseph Fares.
Yeah. The second one is a little bit more weird, to be honest, but okay.
Yeah, but I mean, they were both there, but I do think the Geoff is trying to make the best of. He tries to make good shows for gaming, and it's. I think this one was really good, honestly. When it comes to both,
I watched like 10 minutes, so I don't
know. It's too late for us in Europe. The timing doesn't really work for us here because it's very late in the night.
Actually, I watched like half of it, so because and it was really good. I mean, not just the announcements. There were lots of interesting announcements, but also the show part of it. Actually, this year they've cut on the length of the show, and they also kind of sped up the trivial things that I mean, for example, last year there was a video message from The Rock that didn't really belong there. And this time, they last year there was a message from The Rock.
I've slept since then, so.
Well, we got Al Pacino this year.
Did you?
He was complete. You could tell he was feeling completely out of place.
What was he talking about?
He was presenting the
best narrative, I think.
Best performance award. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why not?
Why not? Because it's got fuck all to do with games.
Yeah, he said as much when he was talking. He said as much.
He wasn't even in the Scarface game.
Yeah, but he's an actor and he was presenting an award to actors. Yeah. So that's
again, this is the big issue for gaming. It's constantly trying to say, look, we've got people from the real industry. Gaming
Oh
worth
yeah,
more than
man.
that.
Well, at least we even got a message from Idris Elba, but he's in a game this time, so.
Yeah, fair enough. If they're in the games and they actually enjoy games, then I'm all for that. But, Al Pacino's showed less interesting games than I've shown in parasailing. And that's fuck
Oh,
all.
anyway, basically, he gave the award of best performance to Chris Judge, who is, the voice and the motion capture of Kratos.
Yeah.
And then Chris Judge went on to do like a 15-minute speech, but it was pretty
I'm fine with
heartfelt.
that. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that. He won it, and it's Chris Judge, Teal'c. That's it. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. He wanted more people to win a Steam Deck. That's why he.
Yeah, probably.
I think for me, it's just they're still. Again, Keighley's just as guilty as this, and certain developers are guilty of this, where they just seem to get they pull in names just because it's a name sort of thing. It's like, again, Kojima was very guilty of this when he pulled in Kiefer Sutherland for the sake of pulling in Kiefer Sutherland.
But Kojima, we know that he just wants to make his movie, and no one is letting him make his movie, so he has to take actors for his games.
It wouldn't be a movie. It would be like it would be a fucking feature length 5-day performance where if if you try to sleep for any time within those 5 days, you get electric shock.
Well, we know he would waste the budget in very stupid ways. I love
It does
Kojima
depend
anyway.
who he gets to play quiet, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of the actual games that were showcased there, there was kind of a surprise that we saw the next game from BioShock creator Ken Levine for the first time. And it looked like BioShock, a lot like BioShock, but
yeah,
you are BioShock.
I am shocked. Hey,
what a shock!
But I think that's a good thing because BioShock is pretty good, and the only trouble is we basically don't have any release date or anything more than that. But I'm interested in it for sure. And then we had so many other things.
From what I've quickly read about it this morning, it does sound interesting. I'll play it because I like BioShock.
Yeah.
And System Shock, of course, and such as that.
Francesco, we also got Tekken 8 gameplay, right?
Yeah, and it looked a little weird. I mean, aesthetically, some characters looked a little off, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Tekken, so I really can't tell the nuances of the differences between 7 and 8. But I think next year is looking like a strong year for fighting games with Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6. Well, I know much more of Street Fighter 6, so I'm way more excited for that. I'm just sad that it's releasing so late in the year. I expected an April release date at this point, but you can tell they're putting their time in it. They don't want to repeat a Street Fighter 5 situation where the game essentially launched in a broken... It was a beta pretty much, and this time around they're focusing more on the single player because they showed a little bit more of World Tour during the Game Awards, and you can tell they care. With Tekken, I don't even know if it's releasing next year. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think they've said. They haven't said yet.
To be honest, at least Tekken 7 had a much better release on PC and console, so they probably don't have to, fix something that went wrong. Well, they have to fix their netcode because Tekken 7 has horrible netcode, horrible online play. But
part
yeah,
of the course with most of those games, though. Street Fighter manages to mess that up.
At least I was able to try Street Fighter 6 with the first closed beta, and at least on that front, it seems they got that right this time around. So if Japanese developers have started seeing the benefits of rollback netcode because they were trying to ignore it for years. So probably Tekken 8 will follow suit in this regard, and they will go with rollback as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's looking like a great year for fighting games if they both release next year. But even if just Street Fighter 6 releases next year, it would be good. I think there is just more attention to fighting games than ever. Mostly because they went into the esports kind of thing. So it's more people are interested, and so developers are putting a lot more care, not just for their hardcore audience. So I think it's good. Variety is always good when it comes to everything. But yeah.
And basically, there is 1 month between the end of May and the end of June, which is insane because we have Suicide Squad releasing on the end of May. Then there is Street Fighter on June 2nd, right? I think.
Yeah.
Then there is Diablo 4 on June 6th. And then at the end of June, Fantasy 16.
Yay!
So basically, there are 4 really big games within 1 month.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Well,
I'm going to have to pick between Final Fantasy 16 and Diablo, aren't I? Are you laughing like that for?
Because I was thinking if I had to choose between Street Fighter 6 and Final Fantasy 16, I wouldn't know what to choose.
I would say I'm now thinking it's going to be I was just going to say Street Fighter then. Don't be stupid, Chris. I fucking hate fighting games. Yeah.
Yeah, but Final Fantasy 16 is looking very, very good.
I would say it's got to be Final Fantasy for me. I reviewed 14, 15, 14, 15? 15.
14 is the online one.
Yeah, I reviewed 15, and yeah, and you got 7.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember what you get.
I reviewed the remake. So, the first part of Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Yeah. So yeah, 16's for me. Yay!
I'm not going to say anything. I just let
no
things...
contest.
No,
the thing is, you also have other competitors, other rivals for this game.
No, I don't. They're all going to be dead by arsenic before then.
The WCCF Tech Battle Royale. And,
we all know who's going to win that.
Who's going to win that?
Me, of course.
You just said you don't play competitive games. We should do that sometime.
No. We weren't talking games. We're talking about actual battle royale, as in placed on an island
real
and
life.
murdering each other. I've had training.
Yeah, but Francesco, he has ways as the hitman.
Well, fair enough. Me and Francesco will team up, and then we'll just split the games.
That's a good idea.
Well, anyway, it looks like I will be picking Suicide Squad, so I guess you don't have...
It's all yours.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, the trailer was pretty intense in that it featured Kevin Conroy. It was basically his last performance as Batman. The voice actor of Batman.
Yeah.
He recently passed away, so lots of people and fans are saying, I will pre-order just because he's in it. So it will be interesting. And there's lots of stuff. Honestly, there is Baldur's Gate 3 finally releasing this August. Well, next August.
Well, considering it's technically been out early access for the past 12 years. Fantastic game.
Yeah.
I previewed it right at the start, I think. When it first came out in early access. That's been a long time ago.
It was nearly 3. It's basically, I think, in October 2020.
Really?
It launched.
2 years, yeah.
2, well, nearly 3 when it releases.
when it released.
And well, it's looking really, really good, honestly, from what I've seen, and so it will be a great year for RPG as well, because there's really many games coming out. We've also gotten gameplay for the Lords of the Fallen, which is kind of the Souls-like.
Is it? See,
yeah.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
So, is that a remake of Lords of the Fallen, or is
It's
it
a
Just kind of a
rebuild.
reboot, yeah.
But Lords of the Fallen only came out 12 days ago.
Well,
literally,
I think it needed to be rebooted because it wasn't really that.
No, I get they've learnt since then with Surge and everything else. It's just that I'd have just renamed it to something else, like Lord of the Fallen.
They call it a reboot, but it's actually set like 1,000 years after the first
or call
one,
it Fallen Lords. Just
Okay.
don't give it the exact same name.
It has the Lords of the Fallen. That one was just Lords of the Fallen.
Exactly.
That makes all the fucking difference. Because in game archiving, the part of it is always counted, or not.
Yeah,
bastards.
But we also got the announcement of Remnant 2, which was kind of unexpected, and the first one was kind of a sleeper hit. Then there is the next game from Dontnod, which also looked really good. It's kind of
interests me. So I'll just quickly list the 5, 6 game. No, 5 or 6. The 6 games really that I paid attention to from. No, 5 games. I keep saying 6. 5 games I paid attention to after GGA. Judas, because Bioshock.
Because you're a Judas. Okay.
Yeah, well, to be fair, the shirt I'm wearing now, Fozzy, they sing a song called Judas. Chris Jericho, his opening theme. Yeah, so there was Judas. I did have a look at Crime Boss Rocky City. Now, can you play that single player?
Yeah.
So I'm actually interested because, well, it just looks weird and it's got Chuck Norris in.
Yeah.
Actually, it has a pretty cool cast. Yeah,
it does. Yeah,
Kim Basinger.
Yeah,
I would say it really does have an interesting cast. Danny Glover, Danny Trejo, Chuck Norris. I'm quite interested.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me a bit skeptical is that they basically opened pre-orders with a 40% discount for one day. And then, after that day, now it's 20% discount. I mean,
I know, I saw it too late. I saw it when it was 20% discount. I'd have actually bought it if I'd have seen it at 40%.
And I'm wondering why would you do that if you have complete confidence in your product? I don't know, maybe. But,
it's because it's a co-op game as well. I suppose the more early people you get in, the more the co-op's going to be alive when it comes out, which naturally will give people that higher feeling of it. Oh my god, this has got players. Sort of shit.
Yeah. And also, well, it's being published by Epic. I think it is an Epic Game Store exclusive anyway for PC. So
I suppose they've also been paid.
The money is already there.
Yeah.
They had to pay all those actors. They needed the money.
And there is Armored Core, Francesco. Next game from
Finally.
Software.
This has been rumored to be in development for a long time.
Just a second. I need to list my other 3 games first. I've only listed 2. Then we can talk about that.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Final Fantasy 16, of course. Then obviously the Don't Nod game banishes Ghosts of Blood and Evil or Ghosts of New Eden or Adam and Eve. Yeah,
I guess Company of Heroes 3, right?
And yes, of course, Company of Heroes is coming to consoles. But anyway, we'll talk about that after, Shielded Core 52.
Well, it's funny because Armored Core 6 has been said to be in development for a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
someone even leaked videos, like I think last year. It was a long time in development, and it will be interesting. I don't know if you ever played that Armored Core. I played the first two. It's very different from what From Software is known for nowadays. So it will be interesting to see if they Souls-like it in some way. The trailer doesn't show anything other
They
than
probably
big
will.
robots fighting each other. And
Yeah,
doesn't-
I think someone saw, I don't know, maybe on LinkedIn or somewhere else, that the creative director is the same as Sekiro.
Yeah, Sekiro. So it could be something in between, like going back to the Armored Core stuff and with a little
You
bit of Sekiro
dodge
gameplay.
with the mech. Dodge.
Yeah, the thing is, Armored Core is all about customization because you have so many options to customize your robots, and it will be interesting if they keep that. And
I'm now just trying
it's
to think.
interesting. It's funny that they went with Armored Core 6 because I don't think many people played the series.
I'm
mean-
now just trying to think if they're making an Armored Core game. You're already in a giant mech. How can you fight things that are a million times bigger than you in the usual Dark Souls style? If they try and do that, you're going to be fighting a planet.
Yeah, they got to be bigger. Well, to be fair, they used to do these things. I remember the one I remember best was the first one, and I think they were doing something like that. I remember the last mission was set into this big building, and that was From Software before Demon Souls because it was in the first PlayStation.
I think we should be just having From Software make the next Earth Defense Force.
Yeah, I think they would be good at it. Kind of. Well, they're good at doing what they do anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be interesting to see. We don't know. Well, the game is coming out next year, so we will know soon enough how the game plays. If they don't delay it, of course, because delays.
That's true. That's kind of the unspoken truth that now right now we are all saying 2023 looks ace, all those games, except at least 30% will be delayed. So
they may still release in 2023. May possibly.
With Armored Core, it's been in development for a long time, so I don't think it will be delayed unless they catch something.
You may get slight delays, but you shouldn't get a massive one.
Yeah, it's been in the works for a very, very long time.
It was also actually a big TGA for MMO fans because there were quite a few MMO type of games shown there. There was a Wayfinder, which is the next game from Airship Syndicate, published by Digital Extremes, and it looks a lot like World of Warcraft, maybe, in terms of style, or Darksiders, perhaps. It's highly stylized, and but from what they've said, it has a lot of the MMO trappings. Like there is a large open world area where you can find other players. Then there are basically dungeon-like zones where you go, and they are kind of randomized. There are mutators. Of course, there are lots of loot to gather. There is housing as well that can basically be combined with other players' houses to get more buffs for your group, for your guild. So it's an interesting game. Where there is actually a PC playtest coming soon, and it's not the only one because finally Blue Protocol is also coming to Western countries. Amazon is publishing it here, so that's another kind of MMO type of game. Then there was the first pre-alpha teaser for Dune Awakening, which is looking to basically combine survival and MMO genres. And there is also Nightingale, which is a shared world survival crafting game from some of the former bio developers, and that is also an interesting kind of setting, which is gas lamp themed with Fae and interesting inspirations. If you go on the website, we also actually have 2 long interviews with Wayfinder and the Nightingale developers. So lots of really interesting stuff for MMO fans. Finally, I'd say.
Well,
and
you did get. I forgot. Lost World. Lost Ark. I can't even remember the Amazon MMO name anymore.
Lost Ark, yeah. That
Lost
was
Ark.
released last year.
Was it Lost Ark? No, I don't.
Lost
The one
World
that you played. I don't know.
And they also
The
finally
one that I
announced
previewed.
Lost Ark, yeah.
Are you sure? No, I'm thinking of the one where you built your own, like, you had your own guilds and it was like, it really didn't. I don't know. Are you sure?
New World.
New
New
World,
World.
that's it. World.
Lost World.
Oh my god, that shows how bad, how great that's remained in people's memories. Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Anyway, and as I was saying, also they finally announced the Transformers game that's been in development for, I don't know, a decade or so. And well, now it's being finalized by Splash Damage. And supposedly it's coming too soon to PC and consoles. So that's a co-op online action game as well. On the multiplayer side, there is also a Crash Team Rumble game. I don't know if you saw that. Francesco, did you have any thoughts?
Well,
I have.
they haven't really. No, they haven't really shown much. It's just usual pre-rendered trailer that doesn't really say anything. But we will have to see. Crash Bandicoot is once again very recognizable because of the fourth entry in the series, the remaster of the first 3 games, Crash Raid, the remake of Crash Team Racing. So it can do good, but we'll actually have to see the game.
Yeah. I have thoughts. They're not positive thoughts, but just make a fucking Crash Bandicoot game.
Well, they did.
Yeah, and it was.
The fourth one is like 2 years ago, I think, or last year. I don't remember.
Yeah, just make another proper one. 2 years ago.
One thing I don't understand is why Activision seems hell-bent not to release Crash multiplayer games on PC. Because Crash Team Racing, the remastered, is not on PC still, years later. And this one, the new one, is also announced only for consoles. So I don't know what is it with PC that they don't want to release it.
Well, at least they released the Insane Trilogy, at least. It's the multiplayer. Yeah, it's the like you said, it's the multiplayer stuff. I don't know. They never said anything. Really,
I imagine simply because they want to keep it on consoles, do cross-platforming, and PCs tend to have an advantage over consoles.
Well, if they think like that, they wouldn't have to release no multiplayer game ever.
Yeah, I mean, Modern Warfare.
As far as I can't remember now. Maybe they do now, but originally the Call of Duty you didn't have cross-platform between PC and consoles.
No, but now they do.
No.
Oh, they do.
Now they do. Yeah.
And and actually there are still 2 games that major games that they shown announced. One is Jedi Survivor, which is looking also pretty good, and it's coming out soon. And then there is Death Stranding 2. And Francesco, since you're the only one among us who played Death Stranding, tell us what you think about this.
I installed it, then didn't play it and uninstalled it.
Well, you can also watch it. It's probably better if you watch it rather than play it. To be honest, I had fun playing it too. So, it's looking good. Like always, you can't understand shit by looking at the trailer because it's the Kojima weirdness all over again.
In all fairness, it's a Kojima game. You probably can't understand shit by playing it.
Yeah, that's true. After I was done with Death Stranding, I had to search for a couple of things because I was feeling a little lost. But then again, I think Death Stranding is a little bit easier to understand than the worst Kojima of Metal Gear Solid 4. I think that scene is worst with the crazy stuff. But it looks like Death Stranding, and there are a few weird things. There are even tentacles coming up.
I am shocked.
Yeah, there are tentacles coming up.
Yeah, I am
But
shocked that there are tentacles in a Kojima game.
I haven't played the director's cut, but I heard that they improved the game a little bit on the gameplay side, and there's more stuff to do. So if he gets more stuff to do alongside the delivery stuff, I think it will be better received than the first one. That wasn't received well, to be honest, but many people expected Metal Gear Solid, a new Metal Gear Solid, and the game wasn't that at all. The interesting thing is that Kojima said he rewrote the game after the pandemic because he had one idea before the pandemic, then he rewrote it. So it will be interesting to see what he came up with, and like we said many times, I'd be careful of what happens in Death Stranding 2 because it may happen in the real world as well.
Well,
Kojima.
He did joke on stage that he didn't want to predict any more things with the new game. So
it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
I know I haven't played Death Stranding, but I don't think that was quite predicted. I don't think that quite came true.
The prediction was that the delivery guys, couriers were becoming heroes.
During the pandemic.
That's the prediction. Yeah,
I get that, but I didn't notice any delivery.
I didn't
notice many delivery guys carrying extendable ladders.
No, no spoilers, but even what happens to the people of that world is kind of a disease, but in a Kojima way. But you could see it as a disease. Did they all start breathing
through their skin?
So we will see what is predicted this time.
Hopefully, a year without.
Hopefully it will be one of the first times he's wrong. But
no, I just wanted to predict a year when I don't get ill every 12 seconds.
You should talk with him.
Right? Yeah, Hideo, if you're listening, write me in your game and just make either kill me or make me not ill.
Something else that's worth highlighting from the TGA is that Sony was actually pretty heavy in its presence there. They confirmed that Returnal is coming to PC, that they announced the release date for The Last of Us Remake on PC. They also announced the DLC for Horizon Forbidden West. And on the other end, Microsoft was kind of non-existent, when it comes to its first-party games, and that was kind of a disappointment to Xbox fans.
I don't think they've got a massive amount coming, though, have they? Now, that's probably why.
But, in theory, they have, but the Xbox fans are now wondering what's the deal with it. I mean. They have Avowed, they have Fable, Perfect Dark, Forza Motorsport, Redfall, Starfield. And so they could have shown something, especially since the venue. I don't know if you know it, but it's called the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles.
All I'm thinking is that most of those games won't be at a stage where they can show. They could have shown more of Starfield, yeah. Possibly some of Forza, but Fable, I imagine, is far too early to start showing anything.
Fable, yes, but Avowed, for instance, they showed it 2 years ago, and then nothing more. And,
probably because probably because nothing's happened with it.
Yeah, they said it's been having development issues. Directors change. They're rumors, so we don't know if they're true, but it seems like they've been having issues.
I get the feeling that Avowed's gone backwards, if anything.
I don't know. We'll see, but it was I mean, there were some interesting Xbox games that came out. Grounded launched out of early access, and the Pentiment also launched. Two good reviews, solid reviews, but it is a smaller game. So of course, people are expecting, and another game that's been announced many years ago, and it's still not anywhere near release date. Apparently, is Hellblade 2. I mean,
Yeah.
what are they doing? I don't know, but Microsoft acquired a bunch of studios in the last 5 years, and
Yeah, they may all
many
get
many.
taken off them now.
And don't want to say that they don't have anything to show for it, but I'd say the output still hasn't been to the level they were expecting, maybe.
Give it
So
time.
that, I guess that's why probably they went all in on Activision Blizzard, because they felt like the Game Pass library still wasn't where it needed to be. And we'll see, but I think Xbox really needs to do more next year when it
Yeah.
comes to first party.
Yeah, you'll probably see more next year. And to be fair, the Game Awards aren't the biggest of things. If they're going to show something big, if they're going to start showing Fable or things like that, you'll probably look for them around E3 or Gamescom.
Yeah, I mean, there is also State of Decay 3 was announced a couple of years ago, and still probably in alpha stage or pre-alpha, according to rumors. There is the game from Compulsion Games, and that's also been several years in the making. They have released, their game quite a while ago.
The thing is, if they're big games, that makes sense. Several years is now par for the course before you start seeing things.
That is true.
Yeah. But anyway.
It's. We'll
Speaking
see.
of Microsoft, it was advertised at a Microsoft by Microsoft, and I played it at Microsoft in Gamescom. See what we're playing now. I'm playing High on Life. I can talk about it, but I got the review code Friday night with the expectation that the review will be up on Monday. I'm not promising that, but this will go up after Monday, so I can tell you from what I've played so far, it's enjoyable. I did say before this started that some of the jokes, well, it can be quite funny. Some of the jokes or some of the things have worn out their welcome.
Uh-huh.
They come at times where one character, you did eventually get to kill it. They've done this same joke a few times though now with different characters, where it will literally hover on the screen and it will follow your cursor, so you cannot escape the fucker, and it will not stop talking. It will not stop talking. It's just constant. You want to drill your own ear drums out.
Okay.
But other than that, it's quite enjoyable. There's quite a lot of things. It's colourful. It's tight. There's quite a few things to find. It's got some good humour. So yeah, I'm enjoying it from what I've been playing so far.
No. It looked quite colorful. Yeah, like you said. Certainly not another drab-looking shooter game.
It's certainly got colourful language as well.
Okay, Francesco.
Well, not much, because I finally started playing God of War Ragnarok seriously, and I finally got 10 hours in. I'm enjoying it. Well, I expected to enjoy it because I love the previous one, so I'm liking this one as well. And then I've tried the Forspoken demo that got released a couple days ago. Yeah, and honestly, I expected something better, to be honest. Well, outside of the fact that the game doesn't look that good, at least on PlayStation 5.
That's
PS5, performance mode is all over the place. The resolution is very, very low. It's blurry as hell, and it doesn't even run that well. What I was thinking is that some of the ideas are not too bad, like the magic focused combat and traversal. It's not too bad, but they're releasing this game like a few weeks before Hogwarts Legacy, and that has the same things. I mean, the same concepts, and it's a much bigger franchise. And even in trailers, it looks like it will be much more varied. I don't know. They probably should have released Forspoken when it was supposed to release this year, because it's looking a little rough. I think the main issue is that they're sticking with that Luminous engine, and it's really not working out. I mean, the world is empty. Combat at the beginning it feels nice, but then again, you can start mashing things and you still win, even at hard mode, because I tried at hard mode. So I'm not sure about this.
Well, personally, I enjoyed the combat. I think it's pretty cool, honestly. And to be honest, I don't know if Hogwarts Legacy is looking good, but I don't know if the combat will be as high octane and action faster paced as
So you get to be fake Harry Potter.
What I was saying is that it's a similar concept. And,
it's magic focus.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But
the problem is that Hogwarts Legacy is a bigger franchise, established franchise, very popular franchise, and
the big thing, like you said, is I've played. I think the parkour is also looking pretty good from what I've played. Well, of course, it's a limited demo, and you probably get a lot more powers later. And but like you said, the main thing is that the world doesn't look like it will have a lot of interesting things to do and discover. From the content standpoint, I'm pretty sure that Hogwarts Legacy will be the winner of the two. That's for sure. But I do think the combat of Forspoken and perhaps the parkour as well will be kind of its savior. And when it comes to the performance, we'll see on PC, because that's where we really will be able to judge. It will also be the first PC game to support direct storage, so lots of hype around that. And we'll see. I think it will be, personally, I kind of enjoyed Final Fantasy 15, but in my book it's kind of a 7.5 game at best. And honestly, I think Forspoken will be around that level.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like this is a little bit more realized Final Fantasy 15. We'll see. It's it may be bad. It could also be that you start the demo with all those spells already unlocked. You don't have the time to get used to them. So that's probably, we will have to see. It will probably be a decent game, but I don't think it's going to be anything more than.
No.
Then decent.
Probably won't be a masterpiece, that's for sure. But
so we can take from this that you've also played the Forspoken demo.
Yeah. As I said, yes, I played the Forspoken demo. Well, you can play it too. Just turn on the PS5 and download it.
Time for that. I don't have the time.
Okay. After you finished Iron Life, it will still be there.
I'm fairly sure there'll be something else for me to do after High on Life. I do keep getting advertised strange porn games, so why not?
After High on Life, you can get high in real life.
I don't think I've got the energy anymore.
Anyway, beyond Forspoken, I also played Synced, which is basically, they're calling it a rogue looter shooter game, third-person view, post-apocalyptic, and there is a PC open beta now on Steam that you can go check out.
What was it called? Synced?
Synced, yeah. It's published by Tencent. And
I was thinking like synced as in like a sink.
No.
I'm
Think.
getting confused. Then I'm like, sinks.
Now I got that.
And it's like I wrote in the
remember seeing
preview.
it. Yeah, I remember seeing it at Gamescom.
Yeah, and to be honest, it kind of disappeared after 3 years after that Gamescom showing, and now it's come up again. But it's really, it's decent, but it doesn't have that many outstanding features. And when you have a market which has so many shooter games and looter shooter games and this kind of stuff, you really need to do more, I think, to stand out. And I don't know, but they haven't said when the game will release after this open beta test. Personally, I would advise them to wait some more time and perhaps try to add more unique stuff. Basically the major twist is that it's all about basically nanomachines going crazy. So the background seems kind of a Kojima thing, but so the war, of course, the world has gone mad, post-apocalyptic. So you basically go out there, and when you defeat certain nanos, you can sync to them and synced, and they become your companion. So there's that. You can basically morph your companion in different classes. Like there is the tanky companion, there is the support companion, and whatnot. But you still there?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, and but like I said, it's basically, at least in the preview I did with a couple of other colleagues from the press, we were both saying this is very repetitive, and it was like just 1 hour in of our first playthrough.
Yeah.
The objectives kind of always seemed the same. You have to deal with these hordes of enemies, and then hit the weak spots. So it's stuff we've seen before, but like I said, you can try it out on Steam.
I think I don't have the time. Yeah. Other than that, the only game I think everybody should be playing now. Screw all these, because I saw it when it advertised earlier this year, and now I didn't realize it's come out about 3 days ago. Choo Choo Charles. I mean, really? Yeah. Oh, you need to watch it. You need to look at that game, Choo Choo Charles. It's on Steam. It's a horror game about an evil spider train.
Yeah.
It looks great.
So you need to, I've seen that user reviews are quite positive.
I would say open world horror, where you're getting chased around the island by a train with spider legs that's going to eat the living shit out of you. I think I think we have the game of the year. I need to play it.
Okay. It looks interesting.
I may even buy it and review it as a Christmas present to myself.
Okay, yeah. It looks interesting for an indie game. There are always interesting things coming out.
Yeah. But on that note, I think it's time for me to get back to high on life or die.
Yeah, preferably the former. But
I don't know. I'm rooting for the latter at the moment. I think I have been all year. But on that note, we will see you all next week. Or
bye.
provided something. Bye.
Bye.